Tonight, a man has been charged with attempted murder following a serious attack at the Waterford Hospital. That's not all.
Dozens of abuse survivors from St. John's to British Columbia who've been seeking compensation from the Roman Catholic Church have won a big legal victory.
We represented approximately half of those appellants, and it's a result that we were looking for, so we're happy with it.
I'm Terry Roberts. I'll have that story coming up.
I, Joanne Thompson, do solemnly and sincerely promise and swear that I will truly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Minister of Seniors.
One provincial MP takes on more responsibilities, while another has announced that he will step away from his.
Oh my goodness, at least 350 to 400 guests will come through the doors today.
Cabbage, turnips, potatoes, the works of it.
A hot meal and a helping hand. We stop by the gathering place as it serves up some holiday spirit.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Jessica Singer filling in for Carolyn tonight. A Waterford Hospital patient is clinging to life after a violent attack by another patient. The attacker is charged with attempted murder. Here and Now's Mark Quinn has the details.
Thomas Parsley appeared in provincial court Friday morning facing an attempted murder charge. He's charged with attacking a 66-year-old man here at the Waterford Psychiatric Hospital around 6 p.m. Thursday evening. The victim was rushed to the Health Sciences Centre with life-threatening injuries. He's still in hospital in critical condition.
30-year-old man, he was charged with attempted murder and assault with a weapon, and he was held to appear in court in connection with those charges. So right now the investigation remains active with the RNC's Criminal Investigation Division.
Parsley's been living at the Waterford Hospital as an involuntary patient in the care of a psychiatrist. According to court documents, he allegedly assaulted someone else at the hospital in October. That same month, Parsley's care team wrote the court to say he's expected to remain certified and admitted to the Waterford Hospital for the foreseeable future. Earlier in June, he was charged with damaging property at the facility. After his court appearance, Parsley was sent back to the Waterford Hospital for a psychiatric assessment. Following cases of other alleged violence by Parsley, this case raises questions about safety and security in hospital facilities. How did Parsley get access to something he could use as a weapon, and why, given his history of violence, was he with other patients? The hospital says it's looking into what happened. Parsley's due back in court on Monday. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
It's a victory for dozens of abuse victims who were previously told they would not be compensated. Here and Now's Terry Roberts has the latest on their claims against the Roman Catholic Church. First, a warning, this story may be a difficult one for some viewers.
Last year, dozens of abuse survivors had their claims for compensation rejected. But this week, they won a victory in their ongoing legal battle against an insolvent Roman Catholic Archdiocese here in St. John's.
This is the decision by Supreme Court Justice Garrett Handrigan. He ruled on Wednesday that 6 people who had their claims disallowed under the court-approved claims process are, in fact, entitled to compensation from the Roman Catholic Episcopal Corporation of St. John's.
Justice Handrigan has ordered the court-appointed claims officer to review the files of these 59 abuse survivors to determine the amount of compensation, if any, that is due to these claimants.
367 abuse survivors applied for compensation last year. A court-appointed mediator reviewed the files and determined dollar amounts for compensation. The court later approved a $105 million settlement with an average payout of nearly $360,000. Dozens of claims, however, were rejected by the claims officer. They appealed and won.
We represented approximately half of those appellants, and it's a result that we were looking for, so we're happy with it.
It's the latest chapter in the ongoing insolvency of the once powerful St. John's Archdiocese. The Archdiocese is liable for the abuse perpetrated by Christian brothers at the Mount Cashel Orphanage in St. John's and at the hands of clergy and members of lay religious orders. The Archdiocese has been liquidating all its assets, including churches, in order to pay the survivors. So far, more than $44 million has been raised, and half of that was awarded to survivors this fall as part of an interim payment. The largest category of rejected claims involved 41 survivors of abuse at Mount Cashel who had previously received settlements. The claims officer ruled that survivors had released the Archdiocese from further liability by agreeing to the earlier settlements, but Justice Handrigan disagreed.
The judge found that there was nothing in that kept them from proceeding against the Episcopal Corporation.
Any previous compensation, however, will be deducted.
That's not a result that we have a problem with.
Handrigan also ruled in favor of the so-called BC 12. They were students at 2 Vancouver area Catholic schools. They allege abuse by 6 Christian brothers, men transferred to British Columbia after church officials in St. John's learned they had been abusing boys at Mount Cashel. The 6 other appeals involved 4 cases in which there was dispute over the definition of sexual misconduct, and 2 female complainants who were abused by nuns. In each case, Handrigan sided with the survivors.
So when will these 59 abuse survivors receive some cash? Well, expect that to happen sometime in 2025. Terry Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
We have more information tonight on the case of Tony Humby. He's one of the St. John's men accused in a sweeping sexual exploitation case involving youths. Rob Antle was at provincial court this morning and has the latest.
The trial dates are staying the same, but now Tony Humby will face more than double the number of charges when he goes before a judge in March. The Crown and Defence got the green light on Friday to combine 2 separate sets of proceedings into one trial. For the most part, they involved the same alleged victims. Humby had already pleaded not guilty and was set for trial on 33 counts, including sexual assault and sexual interference. Now, another 39 charges laid in September will be heard at the same time. They include child luring and child pornography. In total, there are 11 alleged victims. The trial is scheduled to run 7 weeks. Humby has been in custody since his arrest last April. Many of those he's accused of abusing were youths involved in the province's child welfare system. Humby was also recently charged with 7 counts of child trafficking, but that case will be heard separately. Humby and his co-accused, Bruce Escott, were neighbors in a trailer park in the east end of St. John's. They are the central figures in a sexual exploitation case that goes back decades. Escott has pleaded guilty to 7 sexual offenses and has a sentencing hearing next month. Humby's trial is set to begin on March 3rd. Rob Antle, CBC News, St. John's.
In other news, a Liberal MP from this province joined the Prime Minister's cabinet today.
I, Joanne Thompson, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, King of Canada, his heirs and successors.
That's Joanne Thompson being sworn in this afternoon in Ottawa. The MP for St. John's East is now Minister of Seniors. That's confirmed after she said yesterday, that's after she confirmed yesterday, that she will be seeking re-election next year and that she continues to support Justin Trudeau amid growing calls for his resignation. Thompson is one of 8 MPs Trudeau added to his cabinet today, while 4 others have changed portfolios. It's part of a major overhaul of Justin Trudeau's cabinet.
I, Ruby Sahota, do solemnly and sincerely promise and declare that
Ruby Sahota joins as Minister of Democratic Institutions. She's from Brampton, Ontario, an important election battleground. David McGuinty has been an MP for 2 decades and is taking on the public safety portfolio. And Nathaniel Erskine-Smith, who previously said he wouldn't seek for his seat in Toronto again, is now Minister of Housing, with plans to run again. Meanwhile, longtime Liberal MP for Bonavista, Burin Trinity will not be seeking re-election, but Terence Rogers says it has nothing to do with the turmoil within his party. The 71-year-old says his age is the reason and constant travel back and forth to Ottawa. Rogers said he made the decision months ago and planned to send a letter to residents of his riding prior to the Canada Post strike. He's not going alone. Liberal MPs Ken MacDonald and Seamus O'Regan aren't seeking re-election either. Rogers tells CBC he was shocked by Chrystia Freeland's resignation on Monday, but says he still supports the Prime Minister. Great news for hockey fans in the province. The Quebec Maritime Hockey League is back in business. Officials say it's the city's worst-kept secret. A group of local business owners have purchased Acadie Bathurst Teton, and the team is relocating to St. John's for the next season. The team's new name and logo haven't been announced yet, but fans are already able to put down a $50 deposit on season passes.
I really think people got to take a look at when they say the history of hockey here, has been checkered. It hasn't been checkered. I mean, the Ice Caps sold out for 3.5 seasons. We're the second record holder for most consecutive sellouts in the American Hockey League. So people ask me what's different. There's nothing different. Hockey has been supported here, and I really believe the timing is right for junior. Geographically, it's right for us, with all of the teams. Every one of those teams, by the way, were American Hockey League teams that we played back in the Maple Leafs days. So I think the timing is right for it. There was an opportunity for us to get a team. Timing is everything. And when we looked at it and said, here's the right time for it. So I don't think anything is different. This is a hockey town, and this town has supported hockey in the past. Very confident that it'll support it in the future.
Today, the Gathering Place in St. John's was serving up hot plates of turkey dinner for the holidays. Here and Now's Julia Israel went to check out the festivities.
The holiday season is heating up, and so is the kitchen. While many are putting in those hours at home, the Gathering Place is putting together a special Christmas dinner of their own. 300 free meals every day of the year pumped out of this kitchen, and this Christmas dinner pulls an even bigger crowd.
Oh my goodness, at least 350 to 400 guests will come through the doors today. We have turkey dinner today with all of the trimmings, salt meat, cabbage, peas pudding, and dessert, of course.
We need a slotted spoon for the cabbage.
And it's a pretty busy day. A lot of stress in there today. They're expected to serve at 11:30, so they're preparing more meals than they normally would, and it's a more complex meal than they normally would. So 400 people through here in about 90 minutes is a major task, and it's a well orchestrated effort. It takes some extra work, extra staff to do work like that, and it's when volunteers really step up.
Volunteers keep this engine running, and for this special meal, the pace picks up.
So I do a lot of prep. Peeling vegetables, chopping vegetables, whatever needs to be done, I'll do it in the kitchen. I've been volunteering for 8 years.
So what brings you back every year?
Well, it's the camaraderie, it's the socialization with all of my friends, my volunteers, the staff here. It's a great way to just, get out and help those in need and show a little bit of kindness.
Gathering around food, an antidote for the darkness.
Christmas is a heavy time, so that comes with a lot of emotions depending on their situation. But I think for the most part, people are generally very thankful that they have a place to come for a warm meal, and not just, your basic meal either. It's like a nice Christmas dinner.
During this season of giving, hands on the deck can be the greatest gift.
Christmas dinner is special because when you look at the group that comes in here for a Christmas dinner, and you realize how fortunate you are to be able to go home, have a wonderful dinner with your family, and to serve somebody who doesn't have, that opportunity or that chance in life to be able to do this. And it's a great way for all of the guests to come here and enjoy a wonderful Christmas dinner and just make everybody feel a little bit more special.
The warmth of a hot dinner plate at the Gathering Place, bringing people who struggle in from the cold and for a while out of their harsh routine. Julia Israel, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, we have a lot of weather happening tomorrow and into Sunday. If you have any travel plans, well, you might want to double check. the weather forecast before you go anywhere. It is going to be a nasty Saturday, and this is why. We've got snow, we've got rain, we've got freezing rain, we have wind, we have a blizzard warning. We have it all, and it's going to be mostly rain in the east, some freezing rain in through central, and snow and a blizzard for a southeastern Labrador, and lots of snow for the northern peninsula there as well. We'll tell you all about it a little later.
Look at that one over there.
Is this good?
Yeah, a little bit more. That felt good.
Therapeutic almost.
There's a wrestling ring down there. What's that about?
This is wild.
Well, here in St. John's is not just a fundraiser for a hot holiday meal, but for a warm meal all year round. For 14 years, the St. John's Port Authority has been teaming up with Piper's Store to raise money for the School Lunch Association. It's a partnership that's raised more than $140,000 and counting.
My name is Elizabeth Strickland, and I am the Director of Operations for Pipers. And part of our business model is to serve our community, and what better way is to help with the school lunch program.
My name is John Finn. I'm the Executive Director with the School Lunch Association. There's 65,000 children every day that go to school, and many of them actually don't have an opportunity to have a hot lunch. And so our program provides a nutritious lunch. It allows children to thrive, provides energy, mental health, wellness. And so our program has been operating for 35 years. We're actually the longest running charitable school food program in the country.
So we actually do fundraising. So we've started today, and right up until December the 24th, we're asking all of our customers coming in to donate to the school program. And we're not asking for a whole lot, we're asking for $1. So when you go to our cashiers are going to ask all of our customers to donate $1. If you don't have $1, we do have some money tins on our cashiers that you can just drop some change.
She's 101 and still going strong. A senior from Prince Edward Island recently had a lifelong wish granted. For years, she's dreamed of seeing Stars on Ice live. And during a recent trip to St. John's, that wish came true. The CBC's Laura Meter has more.
And this is where we were first.
Fern Edgecombe is home now, but she's still feeling the excitement from her recent trip she had with her daughter. The 101-year-old PEI woman was granted a wish to see a Stars on Ice show in Newfoundland.
They paid our way over to St. John's, paid the hotel. Everything was paid for, and it was just delightful.
So what time of year was that, Mom?
Her daughter nominated her for the wish. Fern Edgecombe had always loved skating as a young girl. She used to skate on a lake in Dartmouth in the 1940s and would skate almost every night in the winter.
We would go after supper and stay for a couple hours up on the lake, and the skating was always good.
Going to a big skating show seemed like a perfect idea.
She was pretty thrilled. Yes, yeah, she was excited. She loved Stars on Ice because of the costumes.
They'd come out on the ice and it'd be, before you know it, they were at the other end of the rink, and they could do twirls or do anything. And one fellow could go up, do somersaults.
The charity We Are Young, which granted the wish, wants seniors to feel good and have a sense of belonging and adventure. The group says older people are often forgotten about and not asked about what their dreams are or what they'd like to do.
You know, for some seniors to be able to grant their wishes, we know the impact it can create and the transformation it can create to someone just like Fern.
Fern Edgecombe is actually the oldest wish recipient so far for the charity. You wouldn't know it by how fast she walks and how sharp she is.
Oh, this is too easy.
And she just keeps going and going, and she keeps smiling. So no, she's really special.
And coming back, we were marveling how much fun it was.
They hope lots of other seniors will get wishes too. Laura Meter, CBC News, Charlottetown.
We have worked into the contract the lessons of the past, and I feel really good that we've done that. I mean, we did look at Muskrat Falls. That's when we're agreeable with Quebec that if they're going to be the project manager, which they want to be, like, you know what, that makes sense for us.
NL Hydro CEO Jennifer Williams is sitting down for a feature interview with our Heather Gillis. You can catch their full conversation on our website as well as on our CBC NL YouTube page. We'll be right back. Heather, most of the week was sunny, but now it looks like there's a lot of weather on the way. What can you tell us?
Nothing good lasts forever. We're going to have some nice quiet weather tonight, though. Let's take a look, Jess. We've got nice quiet weather on the way tonight. Clouds for many parts of the province, but early tomorrow morning, the Christmas party is going to get started. Snow, rain, just about everything else starting in the early morning, and a messy Saturday is ahead for just about everyone. Look at this map. I don't think I have ever seen this many colors on a map at one time for the amount of watches and warnings we have from Environment Canada right now. So we've got in orange, that is our wind warning, 80 to 100. We've got a rainfall warning for the Southern Avalon, the Burin Peninsula, the Conagra Peninsula. You could see up to 40, maybe even 60 millimeters of rain. We've got freezing rain here in the pink. Could see hours of that. And then the blue in the center here, that's your winter storm warning for much of central and the interior up on into the Northern Peninsula. The red, save the best for last, that is our blizzard warning for Southern Labrador. So just a lot of weather to talk about. Let's take a look at the future tracker now. So again, tonight, really calm and quiet as we head to midnight. And then early tomorrow morning, this is when it starts. We get the snow for the western part of the south coast, some mixing in here for the Burin Peninsula, snow mixing, then rain, and then we'll have rain here for the Avalon Peninsula. You can see it start to change over there in the purple as well. We're going to have this spread across the island into the mid-morning around 9 o'clock. We'll be seeing lots of rain, heavy at times for some areas here in the east. The freezing rain, a swath of it here through central, and then up for Labrador and the Northern Peninsula. Snow will be here for you guys. And this is just going to stick with us throughout the day, and the snow is going to stick around in through Sunday for Labrador and parts of the Northern Peninsula as well. Let's take a look at our accumulations now. We see the snow starting first, then the rain in behind it. We could get 10 to 15 centimeters down through central by lunchtime tomorrow, and we could have 20 millimeters, even more higher for the Burin Peninsula. You can see the orange there on the tip of the boot of the Burin Peninsula by lunchtime, and it just keeps raining. The rain keeps spreading westward, and then when you take a look at the snow, you can see where the snow is going to be. So it's just going to be an awful day for so much of the province, and our winds, they're going to be light tonight, but you can see as we near tomorrow morning, we're going to get those gusts to 80 here for much of the south-facing part of the island. And then as we go into tomorrow afternoon, we see the red there. That's our 100 kilometer per hour gusts for coastal areas along the Southern Avalon, part of the Burin Peninsula, and even along parts of the west coast and on up into the Northern Peninsula there as well. Temperatures, same thing. So as this system moves, what we're going to see is we're going to see double-digit temperatures for the Avalon working its way west. So it's really going to warm up. It's going to be seasonal tonight with our temperatures. You can take a look here. It's going to be freezing right across the island, minus 30 for Labrador West, much cooler when you factor in your wind chill. And for the island, these are, pretty normal temperatures for this time of year, but things are going to really, really, really warm up tomorrow into the double digits. Look at that. So it's going to be a significant warm up, 12 for the Southern Avalon here and 10 for St. John's, Marystown, and into the Clarenville, Bonavista Vista region as well. As we work our way a little further west, those warm temperatures with that rain sticking with us, but starting to drop back for the Grand Falls, Windsor area. So still a little warmer in Gander than it is in Grand Falls, Windsor, even though you guys are only about an hour apart. Grand Falls will see more snow and Gander will see more rain. You'll be right in the middle of where things will be mixing there. Temperatures really dropping back for the west coast, 2 in Stephenville, 0 through Corner Brook, the Humber Valley, and Gross Moor as well. Dropping back down below freezing as we head up to the Northern Peninsula. You could see a lot of freezing rain for you folks, along with your snow. It's just going to be a nasty day for you folks. And we'll have our blizzard warning for southern Labrador there as well. But Labrador City, Churchill Falls, Nain, look at that, sun and cloud for you folks. You're sitting this out. We will see some snow possibly in Happy Valley Goose Bay at -16. So if you're traveling anywhere tomorrow, please check your forecast. Please check your travel plans before you go out anywhere. I'm going to have your long range, which is an improved forecast, a little later in the show.
Thanks, I guess, Heather. Doesn't seem like the best weather heading our way. Anyways, we're about to share a blast from the holidays past with you now, seeing as how we're just 5 more sleeps until the big day. Back in December of 1989, Here Now host Debbie Cooper made a long-distance call to the big guy in red from his home at the North Pole. Here's how it went.
Always a pleasure to speak to you people. We always take time out to chat with the people on Here Now, of course. It's a great pleasure for us and only a delight to be able to do it for you.
Santa, I know you must get an awful lot of letters from boys and girls around the world. Do you get many from Newfoundland and Labrador?
Oh yes, we get an awful lot of letters from little boys and girls and all over Newfoundland and Labrador, and I must say they're so polite when they send their letters. They always say, I'll be leaving some cake or syrup or something for you, Santa, on your visit. And they always say, you know, remember the little children who are sick in hospital. They're just so thoughtful. All the children in Newfoundland and Labrador are just so warm and thoughtful. I must say they're lovely, lovely children.
Yes, that's so true, Santa. And it looks like you really do enjoy eating those snacks. Is there anything special that you like to have the boys and girls leave for you?
Just a bit of fruit cake or a cookie. Of course, I can't eat at every stop now because I wouldn't be able to get around at all, but I'll be picking at several places as I go along and see a drop of syrup or Coke or whatever, you know, any kind of a cola.
Santa, are you going to have Rudolph leading your sleigh this year?
Oh yes, Debbie, Rudolph will be leading the sleigh, of course. Last year there was a little doubt because he was down with the flu and whatnot, and he got over that. But this year he's been doing a bit of running around in the evenings and whatnot on his own, and he's just feeling fantastic, and he'll be out in fine form and fine shape to lead the sleigh this year through Newfoundland and Labrador.
Santa, we've heard a rumor that Clarence the Caribou might join you this year. Any truth to it?
I mentioned it to Rudolph, and Rudolph said, well, for a few miles, I could let Clarence lead the sleigh, but he wasn't too fussy. But nonetheless, when we get to Buckins, we'll see.
You have presents for boys and girls. I guess some grown-ups are going to get them too, including the politicians?
Oh yes, Debbie, we'll be sending the politicians in Newfoundland and Labrador every year. Of course, they always write a letter wanting this and wanting that. But this year, I'm going to save a little surprise, and we'll wait and see on Christmas Day.
You're not giving away any secrets.
Oh, no.
But Santa,
yes.
a lot of boys and girls are waiting for your trip. Is there a message that you would like to give to them tonight?
Oh, I just want them all to get in bed early on Christmas Eve, because I'll be around to visit them all and tell them that I love them all, and get in bed by at least 8:30 or 9 o'clock, because I'll be making my rounds, and I want them all tucked in bed safe and sound, and God love them all. And to all of you people there at Here and Now, and all the viewers across Newfoundland and Labrador, all the best to you.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Jennifer Williams says the new deal with Quebec over Churchill Falls comes with a degree of risk, but believes every last drop of value has been squeezed out of the agreement. She also thinks the province is underestimating just how many jobs could be created. The head of NL Hydro sat down with our Heather Gillis for an in-depth conversation this week. Here's part 2.
I know that in Quebec, the Parti Québécois has criticized the deal and even brought up the 1927 Labrador-Quebec border dispute. If political winds change in Quebec, does that put this deal in jeopardy?
I am hopeful that from a utility to utility perspective and from a planning and security of supply and affordability perspective, this deal is going to make sense for whichever leadership is in place. I fundamentally believe that this is a good deal for both us and for Quebec. It has to be in order for it to proceed. And I would hope that whatever leaders are in any province, that they would recognize that and move forward with it.
When it comes to the risk, where's the risk for Newfoundland and Labrador? Is it that if we don't develop Gull Island and expand Churchill Falls, that will have downward caps on our power? Like, where's the risk for Newfoundland and Labrador?
So as you just referenced just then, that is a risk that's been engineered into the contract, and we were okay with accepting that. And the reason why we were okay with accepting that cap potential is because we believe that we can indeed meet the expectations of ensuring that these projects get built. That's essentially why the caps would apply. Is if we didn't do what we needed to do to enable these projects to be built, we didn't resource our environmental assessment processes, if we didn't resource just getting permitting ready and making effort and prioritizing those things as a province. That is one of the risks, but I do believe it's a manageable risk, and it was an understood risk that we went into it this with. I do think that obtaining or receiving the full benefits of what is in front of us for the next 10 to 15 years will be dependent on a very small province having the right people ready to avail of all of the benefits that are in front of them. So we really do need as a province to embrace the opportunity and to get ourselves ready for that opportunity. The longer we wait to train people and all those sorts of things and to not move forward, I do think we're going to miss the opportunity to avail of as many of the benefits as possible.
You just mentioned training people. What does this mean for jobs if these projects do proceed and the MOU is finalized by 2026?
Right, so a lot of jobs, thousands of jobs. I think maybe even the numbers that we're putting out there could be underestimated. I think it's better to underestimate than to overestimate. I like to use the Muskrat Falls outcomes as a proxy because I think it's real, so you can have something in writing, say this is what the intention is, but we actually have real life experience of what the jobs outcomes were for Newfoundland and Labrador, and of the hours worked on Muskrat Falls, 85% of those hours were worked by residents of this province. And the same hiring protocol will apply to Gull Island as applied to Muskrat Falls. So there's no reason to believe that there won't be jobs for every qualified person. I'm saying every qualified person, but so many qualified people. There will be many, many jobs available to them.
And I know Gull Island has a benefits agreement with the Innu because that is their traditional land.
Correct.
But what about Churchill Falls and the expansion that's set to happen there? Are benefits and environmental assessment agreements ready?
So for the two aspects of Churchill Falls, so one you've mentioned earlier is the upgrade. So that's just switching out of the existing equipment, and we do that today. Right, so and we're not really touching the water, not really going into the river. So those are just covered under the existing plant normal operation. But with regards to the second powerhouse, which would be built, just about 200 meters away from the existing, we do not have an environmental release or any kind of impact and benefits agreement for that one. So both of those will have to be worked on urgently.
Is that a risk that could delay these projects if they are finalized in the MOU?
Well, I mean, if we commit, we're committed to them in the MOU, so we're committed to doing them, and we've already started some conversations with Innu Nation around this, and we will urgently do everything we can to get all of the permitting in place to enable that project as well.
Another question that many people are asking when it comes to Hydro-Quebec and Quebec generally is, did we squeeze enough out of Quebec?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've referenced this in an answer earlier, is there were times that I didn't think we'd get here. And if you, and you're judging each other in that moment. And there were times that, we were saying, okay, that's it. you know, if they're not going to give more, then we're done. And they would, I believe, do the same thing with us. I believe we got every bit of value possible out of this river and out of this asset and out of the relationship.
What is the wait like of trying to get this right, given that the two other deals on the Churchill River have been wrong?
Right, yeah. You know, I think what we've done, and that has been really a guiding principle of what we were headed into here, is to engineer out, is sort of the phrasing we would use. We're going to engineer out all of these things that went wrong before. And as much as is possible, look ahead to say, what could go wrong in the future? And we don't know what that is, but what principles do we need to capture some of that? And when I think about the pricing mechanisms and the principles that we've included in the MOU, Schedule F, I think it is, we basically say this contract, or that the pricing principles that we're using, is meant to capture fairness over the term of the contract. That didn't exist in the first one. So as a most fundamental, we have worked into the contract the lessons of the past. And I feel really good that we've done that. I mean, we did look at Muskrat Falls. That's when we're agreeable with Quebec that if they're going to be the project manager, which they want to be, like, you know what, that makes sense for us. Like that, all of the things that we have agreed to, in my view, in this MOU, or all the things that we have insisted on in this MOU, have been a culmination of all of those projects in the past that have had some negativity associated with them. We've engineered out as much as we possibly can, or engineered in solutions to make sure that we don't find ourselves in the same situations.
And I didn't ask you about this, but the price for power that Quebec will get, it's going to be tied to multiple indices, indices, as you said. Why that? Why not a floor price and go up? Explain the thought and the reasoning around how you chose to price power into the future.
Yeah, so from an engineering out risk perspective of what that could happen in the future, what we have done is, and we're using this because not everyone, but some folks will understand, like a mutual fund. So you kind of get, in your mutual fund, you get like a little bit of the best performing stuff, and you want everything to perform really well. But if one of the pieces doesn't perform so well, you haven't tied yourself to that one metric only. So what we're going to do is have a number of blocks, we're calling them, where this block is for the next 30 years and is tied to that market. The next block is for the next 40 years and it's tied to this market. And what that does is it allows us to de-risk that we haven't hitched our wagon to the wrong market today. And I actually think this conversation right now around tariffs is a perfect example of why that concept works really well. Is you could have a temporary, maybe, issue that might happen in the energy industry, that if you tied yourself to one metric only, what if it tanked really badly? And that would be the wrong thing to do. But if it tanked really badly on just one of the portion of the indices, you could ride out that and you still have other metrics that enable the price to continue to escalate. Our forecast for how the price will change over time using the indices that we have, and of course, who knows what's going to happen in 50 years, but we're estimating that it will increase about 4% a year. That's a pretty good increase in price.
You've called this transformative. Why?
I think we're a very small province population-wise, but a huge province with passion and love and connection. And because again of the history, and it hangs over so many of us. I was talking with one of my daughters, and who's 21. Of course, she probably hears me talk about it, but doesn't really know anything about it. But she also kind of knew, and I'm like, I've never talked to you about this. So our children feel this just inherently. And again, that negativity, I'm an optimist. Imagine if you could, I don't want to be too idealistic, but almost erase so much of that base negativity and replace it with something else. That is transformative.
Okay, Jennifer Williams, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
It's Friday, so let's find out who's celebrating. Happy 55th wedding anniversary to Dorothy and Steve Goodyear. Best wishes to Bernard and Cherry Lane of Grand Falls, Windsor, who celebrated their 59th anniversary on Tuesday. Happy 65th anniversary to Stephenville's Roland and Doris Daly from your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Best wishes to Myra and Ray Mulland, celebrating 53 years of marriage. Happy 60th anniversary to Reg and Edna Lidstone, who will be celebrating on Monday. Sadie and Edward Park are celebrating their 55th anniversary. Congratulations. Wishing Flora and Clyde Fever of McCallum a happy 66th anniversary. Congratulations to Harry and Marlene Party of the Codroy Valley on 53 years of marriage. Best wishes to Joshua and Sarah Young, who celebrated their 65th wedding anniversary on Wednesday. Happy 54th wedding anniversary to Robert and Nina Elliott of Point Leamington. Congratulations to Norma and Ruby Hillier of Cornerbrook on their 67th wedding anniversary. Dave and Chris Barber of Paradise are celebrating their 52nd wedding anniversary. Happy 55th anniversary to Horace and Norma Hookey of Port Rexton from all of your loved ones. And a happy golden 50th wedding anniversary to Clyde and Helen Guy of Arnold's Cove. Randy and Evelyn Budd of Carbonear are celebrating 50 years of marriage tomorrow. Eugene and Joy Bingle from Grand Falls, Windsor will celebrate their 58th wedding anniversary on Christmas Eve. Happy golden anniversary to James and Caroline Hayes of Parker's Cove, who will celebrate 50 years of marriage. And best wishes to Catherine and Harold Snellgrove, who are celebrating their 50th anniversary today. A happy 56th wedding anniversary to John and Ann Palmer. Best wishes to Roland and Doris Daly from Stephenville, who are celebrating 65 years of marriage. Happy 55th anniversary to Bob and Pat Taylor of Cornerbrook. Jerry and Karen Daw of Port de Grave are celebrating 50 years together. And best wishes to Blanche and Hayward Spurl, who are celebrating their 50th anniversary today. Congratulations, everyone. And now to some birthdays. Wishing Rosie Flynn of Fort Tow, Labrador a happy 91st birthday. Happy 90th to Garland Jennings of St. John's. Best wishes to Harold Anderson. He's celebrating his 93rd birthday. Also wishing John Nix of Branch a happy 93rd birthday. Raymond Retief of West Bay celebrated his 91st yesterday. Happy birthday to you, Raymond. Happy 90th birthday to Velma Sims from your 5 daughters, 5 son-in-laws, 9 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren. And New Year's baby Robert Shywalk of Happy Valley Goose Bay will be celebrating his 80th birthday. Happy 90th birthday to Clarice Critch of Deer Lake. And a happy 94th to Onias Ralph. Emma Howell of New West Valley is celebrating her 91st birthday. Best wishes to you. Happy 93rd birthday to Wesley Piercy of Norman's Cove, now living in Clark's Beach. Best wishes to Laura Guzny Stoyles, who celebrated her 99th on Wednesday. She's from Deer Lake, but now lives in BC. And a big happy birthday to Lillian Mercer, who turned 100 years old on Wednesday. Best wishes from all of your loved ones. You are just a gorgeous bunch of people, aren't you? But it looks like the weather for the weekend and for those who are celebrating on the weekends might not be the greatest, will it, Heather?
No, Saturday, certainly not. And for some areas of the province into Sunday, some snow in the forecast as well. So if you are traveling anywhere because it's the holiday season or to see one of those lovely people who are celebrating this weekend, well, you know, check your forecast before you go. But the forecast will improve. Let's take a look at what is in store from Saturday evening in through Sunday. So Saturday evening, still that rain and snow sticking around. Starting to depart, though, Sunday morning. Still some flurries and snow sticking around for parts of Labrador and the Northern Peninsula as well before moving offshore. Our temperatures much cooler than they will be on Saturday with those double-digit temperatures here in the east, 10, 12 degrees. Sunday dropping back down to 0 and -1 and -2 in the east as well. So it'll be a much cooler day on Sunday. So do be careful with some of that rainwater that may be around if it does freeze. Cooler temperatures for the southwest and west coasts as well, and some flurries across Labrador, but Lab West, some sun and cloud for you guys at -17. As we make our way into Monday now, we see that system departing, some cloud clearing out through much of Labrador, but some flurries possible along much of the island as well. As we head into Monday evening, known around these parts as Tibbs Eve, we'll see our temperatures into the -teens for Labrador for the most part. Lots of sun and cloud there as you get ready for St. Nick to come your way. And for much of the west coast, we will see some flurries at -6 for you folks. Some more sun and cloud through the Burin Peninsula and parts of central Grand Falls, Windsor seeing the sun, but some flurries for the Gander area and some flurries for St. John's there as well. Now, let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. We see that terrible weather there on Saturday. Sunday, a bit of reprieve there with some clouds and flurries on Monday. Tuesday, Christmas Eve, look at that, some sun and cloud as you get ready to welcome Santa Claus. And then for Boxing Day, some flurries possible there as well. For Western Newfoundland, we've got lots of flurries right through to Christmas Eve, some cloud on Boxing Day for you folks with your temperatures dropping back from 0 to 6 on Monday. For Central Newfoundland, we've got snow on Saturday, some flurries through Sunday. Monday looking nice, a possible magical flurry for you there on Tuesday as we try to welcome Santa Claus, and Boxing Day looks lovely for you folks. On up into Labrador now, Labrador West looking like you've got a nice stretch of sun and cloud with your temperature starting out cooler, -13 though by the time we get to Wednesday. Some flurries for Saturday and Sunday for Eastern Labrador, and then you'll get the sunshine like the crowd in Lab West. Taking a look at our weather photo now. This one comes from Massey Drive on the west coast, looking like they've got some snow there, and that's the blue sky we saw here this morning, which has gone away and won't come back for a little bit. This winter wonderland is courtesy of Debbie Seward. Thank you for your photo, Debbie. We just love it. And if you have any photos that you'd like to send to us, you can do so at nlphotos.cbc.ca.
That is such a beautiful photo, Debbie. It really looks like Christmas time there, right?
It does.
And speaking of the weather, I'm actually heading out on vacation. I'm flying out at 5 a.m. tomorrow.
Good luck.
Will I make it, Heather?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Oh, goodness. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch up with you next week. Have a beautiful weekend, and Merry Christmas.